Hi, everybody. Welcome to this webinar where today we're going to be talking with Village Roadshow, one of our key AWS SAP partners, Lemongrass, and one of our AWS SAP specialists on how they all work together to migrate Village Roadshow's SAP environment to AWS. We're going to start off with some intros for everybody. For myself, my name is Barry Conway. I'm an AWS Enterprise Solutions Architect. Been with AWS for 6.5 years now, mainly working in the enterprise space. Arul, I'll hand over to you.
Thank you, Barry. Hello, everyone. I'm Arul Arogyanathan, Group CIO at Village Roadshow. We are Australia's household leading entertainment brand with primary businesses in theme parks, cinema exhibition, and film distribution. That's me.
Anders, I'll hand over to you.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Anders Landberg. I'm an account executive at Lemongrass Consulting, and we're a SAP on AWS and cloud specialist consulting partner. And on Village Roadshow's project, my role was to work with the teams to ensure that our proposed solution met Village Roadshow's needs and business requirements.
And David, over to you.
Cool, thanks, Barry. Excited to be here today, Anders and Arul. I'm David Nye, a solution architect with AWS focused on SAP. I help our customers migrate, optimize, and modernize SAP solutions with AWS. I have 20 years experience building and innovating with SAP solutions, and I've worked with both Arul and Anders in supporting Village Roadshow and Lemongrass throughout this SAP migration journey to AWS.
Thanks, David. Arul and Anders, great to have you all here. Okay, let's get started with some questions. The first one, Arul, I think is going to be straight over to you. What prompted Village Roadshow to undertake this major migration project?
Interesting question. It begins, we were in the post-pandemic era. It was an inflection point for us. Some of our business areas were rapidly growing while other business areas were stabilizing. And we realized that there were increasing cost pressures and consumer behaviors were evolving as well. And we as a business needed to adapt to that, the way we operated the business, the way we innovated the business as well. And technology being the fabric of the business, it needed to begin at the technology level. So we had no choice but to modernize our technology to keep up with the agility that market demanded, speed to market, and optimizing the cost. It was no-brainer for us to go ahead and invest in the technology to modernize the technology stack. At the same time, also to invest the capabilities of the people that were running and managing that particular technology. SAP in particular was a natural choice. The reason being is this was a backbone of our ecosystem, the largest system with the largest user base. It's been used all across the board, right from the head office to all the divisions. And during the pandemic, this was the system that was neglected, and it had incurred some tech debt and has the most opportunity in terms of optimizing the cost and increasing the operational efficiency. In terms of this particular project and the decision to migrate this to particular cloud, tick pretty much all our strategic pillars, right from driving innovation, optimizing the cost, increasing the operational efficiency, and mitigating the risk. So given the strategic alignment of this project with the business intent and outcome, that's what prompted the Village Roadshow to undertake this major migration project.
Excellent. Thanks for that, Arul. The next question, Arul, I think this is towards you again. Why did Village Roadshow choose AWS for this migration? And, take us through how Lemongrass got involved as well, please.
We had an existing relationship with AWS for past 3 years prior to this project. It was going very well. And given the intent of modernizing the tech stack, achieving an agility, and increasing the operational efficiency, AWS was a natural choice. Their service offering met most of the ecosystem that we wanted to migrate. their native service offering meant that we could achieve agility and reduce the cost. So AWS was pretty much a natural choice for us. However, Lemongrass, we've heard about them, and we knew that they were the premier AWS partner. They've done similar projects in the market, but at the same time, they were strongly recommended by AWS as well. We did our own due diligence as well. We spoke to a couple of their reference customers, and we realized that Lemongrass has been in the market. They've done the similar complex projects, and they have a track record of delivering such projects on time, on budget. And this was not a simple task for us. As I said, this is the largest system, backbone of our ecosystem. So it was very important for us to go with the right choice of partners, that being an AWS and Lemongrass. And that's how AWS and Lemongrass came into picture.
Excellent, thank you. Yeah, having a strong partner always adds weight and is key to success of these projects. Anders, I think the next question is for you. Could you take us through the role Lemongrass played in the overall process when working with Village?
Yeah, sure. No problem, Barry. So our role in the program was really to guide Village Roadshow throughout the entire migration program. We started with an SAP on AWS readiness assessment, and that phase was really critical and allowed us to really understand the requirements that Village Roadshow had, and also then to design the approach in the most secure and cost-effective way. Like Arul mentioned before, it's a business critical system, so ensuring that we have both a secure, cost-effective, but importantly, risk reduced migration approach was really key, and the assessment phase really helped to achieve that. And then we moved into managing the technical blueprint, conducting the actual migration itself, and towards the end of the project at go live, provided an extended hypercare period to help to stabilize and further optimize the systems post migration. Yeah.
That's great, Anders. Thanks for that. So you talked about the phases of the project. Could you describe in a little bit more detail these actual phases and any additional phases of the project and how those phases were executed?
Yeah, sure. Now, just before I talk through the project phases, I just wanted to point out some key objectives and rephrase them again. Arul, I think you already mentioned them, but I think it's really important that Village had set out at the start of the project, and that we were going to use as our guiding compass, if you like, throughout the whole program. And they were, number one, to really enable and drive innovation of the migrated SAP on AWS environment. Two, to optimize cost and operational efficiency and really get that achieved. And importantly, three, to mitigate the risk of migrating this business critical system for Village Roadshow. So the program itself had two main phases, the assessment and then the migration proper. In the assessment phase, we worked closely with Village Roadshow and with AWS to map out the most efficient migration strategy and approach, and also create a total cost of ownership or TCO analysis that would enable and allow key stakeholders at Village Roadshow to make the decisions necessary. And we then reviewed a number of different architectural options as well to ensure that the proposed solution and approach would meet the technical, operational, and also economic goals of Village Roadshow. And then moving into the migration phase, we first built a common technical foundation or landing zone on AWS, and then performed the migration of the SAP application tiers using a lift and shift approach, which also involved upgrading the systems, the databases, and the operating environments to really ensure that Village Roadshow could fully leverage the cloud native features that AWS provides to enable that innovation that was so critical and a rule that you pointed out before. And lastly, after the go live, we then provided this extended hypercare to the team to really stabilize and further optimize the systems so that we could hand over the systems in the most efficient way to Village Roadshow's own operational team.
Excellent. Thanks, Anders. Thanks for that detail. That was great. David, the next question's from you. So we've heard from our AWS customer, Village, and we've heard from our AWS partner, Lemongrass. What role did AWS themselves play in the technical implementation?
Thanks, Barry. AWS provided the foundations for this project, offering cloud-native capabilities to optimize Village Roadshow's SAP landscape. Our services enabled Village Roadshow to create a modern, high-performing environment that's resilient, scalable, and cost-effective. We're able to reduce the total cost of ownership of Village Roadshow's SAP solution as part of this migration from another cloud provider. We assisted throughout the total lifecycle of the project, from initial business case development through to supporting implementation, and now helping optimize and modernize the workload to ensure it's well architected.
Awesome. Thanks, David. Really closing the loop there. Arul, back to you. You know, we've got this partnership going on here. So between the three parties, how did this partnership contribute to the success of the project?
See, I keep saying that this is a critical system and it's a backbone, but let me put some facts into it so you get the perspective of it. This is a financial ERP plus our reporting ecosystem used across 4 divisions. In terms of application ecosystem itself, there are about 8 applications. There are 4 SDLC environments spread onto 7 network VPCs, over 36 subnets, 67 servers, 150 terabytes plus disk space. So you can imagine how big this particular ecosystem is. And when we choose such a critical system, such a mammoth system as your first cab of the rank to migrate that from your on-prem plus another cloud provider to AWS, that means you need a right level of expertise, the people who've been there, people who have done it, and also people who have expertise in it. And that's where this tri-party partnership comes into it. While I keep saying that AWS is a natural choice, it's beyond that natural choice. They've been a strategic partner to us. It's not just migrating this existing ecosystem onto a new cloud platform, but how do you enable the culture of collaboration and innovation and continuous improvement? That's where this partnership comes into picture. AWS made a heavy investment on us as a precursor to this particular project. We ran a 12-week continuous learning program where we trained our entire IT staff onto all the cloud AWS top 5 AWS cloud skills, and that brought the momentum of culture of innovation and culture of collaboration. That's the first thing to begin with. And also this mammoth project takes a lot of capital and OPEX funding to execute that. This is where AWS again came into not being just a vendor, just being a partner. Our discovery assessment, where we had to finalize the sustainable, secure, and manageable migration path and the target state, that discovery phase altogether was fully funded by AWS. On top of that, AWS came up with a concept of migration acceleration program. Partly our execution was also funded. And beyond that, they also went and sought some additional special funding from a SAP business unit as well within AWS. So in a nutshell, not just the technical assistance, guidance and governance, but they also provided required financial funding as well to execute that. And I cannot talk enough about Lemongrass. They've been a key player as well. While yes, they've done multiple projects across the other partners, their contribution to this one was very critical and pivotal for us. They extended beyond the actual project team to ensure that they bring the best practices. When there was a moment of crisis, they seek an expertise outside the project team. Their automation platform that brought a lot of speed and autonomy into the project itself in terms of creating the landing zone or exploring different options, lift and shift versus lift and optimize. So in a nutshell, I mean, if I have to summarize why this particular partnership was critical to execute this, not only this was a mammoth project, critical project, but I think this combined partnership is what made it possible as well. Yeah, that's in a nutshell, that's how I would summarize why this partnership was critical for us. Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, Arul. Thanks for that detail. Sounds like a really good partnership at play for your project. When you were talking there, you talked about some of the metrics, but I'm curious around what were the key tangible results of this migration for Village Roadshow?
I mean, there were benefits across all domains or aspects of the business. If I have to start with financials, given its ERP system, I think that's the most interested one. And the CFOs being the sponsor of this system, let's probably start with that. Just by migrating this system from existing on-prem and an existing cloud provider to an AWS cloud, we achieved 400,000 annual saving year on year in an OPEX cost, just the run cost alone. That's a massive achievement just for migrating one particular critical system. That's the beginning. If I put a technical lens, I mentioned earlier that this particular system has incurred some technical debt in terms of software currency left behind in operating system, database, file system, and everything. So we pretty much killed two birds with one stone. We leveraged this as a channel to upgrade our operating system databases and mitigate the risk around the incompatible file system. So that's another tangible benefit that we've achieved. This project also became a stepping stone for us to bring the culture of collaboration, continuous improvement, and innovation. Because of this particular project, we could train all our individuals and bring that new energy in the post-pandemic era. I can keep going. I mean, there were more intangible benefits that spread outside this particular business program as well. Maybe that's for another day.
Yeah, maybe that is for another day. It sounds like you've got endless benefits from this project, which is great to hear. Next question, we're going to get each of you to answer. But Arul, we'll start with you since you've just been talking. What were the lessons did each of the organizations, so Arul, to you, what lessons did Village take away from this successful collaboration?
I think I've said most of the things in my previous question, but if I have to summarize, I guess I'll quote Henry Ford. He used to say, or he's in one of his book, I read that coming together is a beginning, keeping together is a progress, but working together is a success. And that's what I learned over the 6 months of this particular project. In the beginning, having an interaction with AWS, putting this on a plan, it sounded like a task that we were not going to achieve it. Then Lemongrass came in, they jumped in, they said, we've done this kind of things. Yes, your system is bigger than what we've done, but again, we have a breadth and depth of the experience. So no matter how big the task is, if you have a right partnership, if you have a right intention, and probably the shared goal is what I would say here. All three parties has a shared goal. The shared goal being, technology modernization and doing a business transformation. So my learning is partnership is pretty key, and people with a shared goal is important.
Thanks, Arul. Yeah, I love the comment about the shared goal. That's really good. Anders, what did Lemongrass, what lessons did Lemongrass learn from this collaboration?
Yeah, I can only echo what Arul said, is that the strength of the partnership, or the value of the partnership, really goes all the way to creating a successful project. That's also the key takeaway for us. I guess from more a technical or project delivery perspective, there was really two key takeaways for us, and it really showed just the value and the importance of really customizing that migration approach to Village Roadshow's specific operational needs in this circumstance, because it was, as we already discovered, coming out of the pandemic, and situations were changed. So the assessment that we ran prior to the migration really proved extremely valuable in achieving that great understanding. But also the extended hypercare period that we ran after the project to fully stabilize and optimize the systems before handing them over to Arul's team and to the Village Roadshow operational team, were really critical to making the overall outcome of the project a success. So.
That's great. Thanks, Anders. David, lessons for AWS?
Yeah, look, thanks, Barry. Look, I mean, it was great to see Lemongrass deliver some significant value and great outcomes at Village Roadshow. The success of this migration really showed that power of collaboration that Arul and Anders has been talking about. And it's that coming together as one team across Village Roadshow, Lemongrass, and AWS that really allowed us to deliver on time, on budget, and create that significant business value. If I was going to leave behind one architectural recommendation, or one lesson learned out of that, it's just the importance of keeping a focus on your business case solution assumptions through your implementation journey. So architecture and cost are linked. They're intrinsically, architecture impacts cost, and cost defines architecture. So making sure that you're making those decisions during your design phase of your program with a view of what was agreed on in the business case, to make sure you unlock those TCO savings that were put up. That was really critical in how we ensured that the value was realized for Village Roadshow.
Thanks, David. That's great. Yeah, great to hear from all three parties, and interesting to see that you've got the collaboration and sharing come together as one team, as the common theme between each of your answers. Great to hear. Arul, we've got one last question for you again. So we've talked a lot about how we got here and how the project was, etc. But could you elaborate on the impact this project has had on Village Roadshow's future?
This was a pioneer project into our bigger strategic goal to migrate most of our critical ecosystem into cloud, and being able to deliver this successful project laid a foundation. It pretty much proved and gave a confidence in our own ability and our strategic partnership with partners like AWS and Lemongrass on how a tech stack can be modernized, how operational excellence can be achieved, and also how complex project could be executed. So that confidence is important when you're walking into the next project. That's number one. And beyond that, because through this particular project, AWS and Lemongrass could prove that they're not vendors, but they're partners, and they're interested in the shared goal. This allowed us to leverage that into a more strategic partnership. We ended up signing a 3-year strategic partnership with AWS, including EDP program, and beyond that, AWS investment continued for Village, not just for this particular project, but beyond that, in terms of enabling more trainings and more experiment and innovation funding for Village. And we ended up with more modern platform, which is more efficient. One classic example I could give you is during my tenure prior to this project, we never did DR test on our critical systems. Why? Because it was very complex, it was very difficult, and the chances of failing was very high. After executing this project, now given we are on a modern tech stack, not only it makes easier for us to execute that, but having experience of executing a complex project like migration gives you confidence. And now we are doing that exercise every 12 months for most of our critical system. So that's what one success does to entire ecosystem in terms of leading that and passing on to wider ecosystem as well. So in a nutshell, I'm confident that this migration will continue to have more positive impact on our business, and we'll pursue more new innovations and streamline the operations.
Thanks, Arul. Yeah, that's really excellent to hear for Village. It's awesome to see the project has ongoing benefits. Look, that's all the questions we have today. Look, this has really been amazing and will be great learning for our watchers and our listeners who are thinking about undertaking a project like this, and is a great example of how an AWS customer, Village, AWS partner, Lemongrass, and AWS themselves all came together as a single focused team with that shared outcome to really deliver continuing benefits for the customer. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you, Arul, Anders, and David, for joining us here today. And it's been really great hearing really good having your time and your insights. And it's really been a pleasure hosting you today. Thank you.